So before we get into the foundations of estate planning, I want to just give, and don't worry, you won't be quizzed at the end, but just give some background as to terms that you might hear as I'm speaking. So generally speaking, when we say someone is died intestate, you might hear that. That means that person died without an estate plan and specifically without a will. The opposite is if they died testate, then they had a will. A testator, if you hear that term, is who makes the will. Testamentary is something that happens on death. The executor, you probably heard that thrown around quite a bit. That's the person who manages a will. You may also hear personal representative. And then if we're talking about trust, which we will later in this presentation, the grantor is the person who makes the trust. The trustee is the person who manages the trust. We're going to talk a lot about basis later on. It has to do with taxes, and I'll go into detail there. We'll talk about joint ownership, so joint tenancy ownership or JT ownership. We're going to talk about powers of attorney. So for your finance power of attorney, you'll hear me use the word agent or attorney in fact. Those are your powers of attorney. And for your healthcare directive, you'll also hear me refer to them as your agent or your healthcare agent. So that's just some background